So in the last video we added this header.php and these functions.php. I'm gonna remove this body background color red because we don't need that. Now the style sheet is working. So we're gonna create, or we're gonna add, two more style sheets. One is called normalize.css, and one of the cool things of using normalize.css is that it will try to make all the components of our website or all the elements look the same in different browsers. So I'm gonna click here on download and I'm gonna copy everything from here. I'm gonna create a new folder called CSS, and here I'm gonna add a new file called normalize.css, and I'm gonna paste all the content right here. I'm gonna close this. Here we have Bootstrap, and we're gonna be using the version 3. The version 4 haven't come yet, but when it does, we're gonna update the video, so you don't have to worry. And you can add Bootstrap clicking here on the getting started, and I'm gonna scroll a little bit. You will find the Bootstrap CDN, and one of the cool things about using CDN is that if someone else is using this CDN and they visit your site, this copy is already on their computer, so your website is gonna be loading faster. So I'm gonna copy this, and let's open Atom again, and I'm gonna open the functions, and here I'm gonna add WP style, and the handle is gonna be Bootstrap, and the second parameter is gonna be the full URL inside quotes. So we have this URL that we grabbed from the Bootstrap CDN. Also, let's add the normalize style sheet. So I'm gonna add here normalize, the second parameter, and I'm gonna add here get style sheet directory URI, then we add a dot, then we add single quotes /css normalize.css, and I'm gonna save this and reload here on our website. And I'm gonna click here on the console. You can see that we don't have any errors. We successfully added the style sheet for Bootstrap and the style sheet for Normalize. But when you're working with Bootstrap, you also need the JavaScript file. So I'm gonna grab this from here. So I'm gonna copy this. And you can see here we have WP style. There is a function called WP script, and this will enqueue the JavaScript files. Here you can add the handler again, Bootstrap JS. Then you need to pass the URL. So I'm gonna pass the full URL, and I'm gonna save this and reload. You can see here, if I inspect this, you can see we have Bootstrap requires jQuery. So we need to add jQuery first. And one of the cool things is that jQuery is already in the WordPress CMS. So I'm gonna add WP script, and you'll need to have to add jQuery. You can remove everything from here. You can reload this, and you can see that we get rid of the error. But I'm gonna add more properties right here, because you can pass more and more things. Next, you can add a comma here, and the next one is for the dependency. So I can add a dependency, and the dependency for this is gonna be jQuery. So once this script is loaded, it's gonna be loading the Bootstrap JavaScript file. Then we add a comma, and the next one is the version. So I'm gonna add 3.3.7, which is the current version. And finally, the final parameter is if you wanna load this JavaScript file in the footer. So you can add something like true. And true will ensure that this is loading in the bottom of our site. But in order to make this work, you need to create a new file called footer.php. I'm gonna add footer right here. And I'm gonna add, if you remember here on the header, we have the opening body and the opening HTML, so we need to add those. The closing body and the closing HTML. So let's indent a little bit. And the function that will load the JavaScript file on the bottom of our site is called the WP footer. WP footer. So now you can save this and reload. And also you can see it's not working. I have to open this index.php and I'm gonna copy this. So we have to get header and we have get footer. So now you can save this and reload. Now you can see we have the sidebar on the top just by adding this get footer, and get footer will output this function. And now you can click here on elements. You can see we have the body, and here on the bottom we have the JavaScript files. For this we have Bootstrap right here. So now everything is working. Now we have added Bootstrap, jQuery, normalize, the style sheets. We have more and more. We're adding more and more content. So in the next video, we're going to start working with this design. We're going to add the logo, and we're going to start working with the HTML for this theme.